Well, this is David, and we're over at the farm, and we had a pin oak here in our front yard that was declining pretty badly. It's dropping major dead limbs, and one of the major limbs on it was going over this power line coming to the house. So we got a guy to take it down for us. It was, if I had dropped it myself, I would have wrecked that cherry bark and the basswood and the chestnut back there behind the cherry bark. And there's no other place to take it but that, and it would have wrecked a lot of stuff. So interesting to look at. You can see on the tree rings that the last several years it was really slowing down. And I'll see if I can put a still picture in there. But it had nice big wide growth rings, and then it just suddenly narrowed down. It was declining pretty quickly, and I wanted them to leave the stem standing. I marked it at 17 feet so I could make a couple half logs out of it. And they, I got here as I pulled in, they were cutting it down for me, and they needed to sharpen their saw. See how that curved? They started in level, and then it just kept curving down. That is a dull, their saw was dull on one side by the time they got down here. But I'm glad not to have to cut it. They, you look at their face cut. They didn't make it right. That face cut. See, they made the face cut, and then their bottom cut. But see, their bottom cut gives you about 3 inches behind the face, and they, you know, those. When you do that, it can't bend properly. So let me get this strap out of the way here. There we go. When they cut here, when that tree tries to turn on the hinge, it can't, because, you know, this sets down on the stump right away. This face, you know, the face should meet the hinge, and this is what they call a Dutchman. And as soon as that tree starts over, and then that busts the hinge, which they got it down successfully, but the hinge doesn't work properly. And you can see on the stump, same thing. They did their bottom cut first. You can tell a lot if you look at a stump critically. They did this bottom cut first, because then they did their face cut here. See, their face cut goes across here. They did that, and then they came back with this. So do your face cut first, and while you're doing your bottom cut, you look through your kerf. You look through your kerf, you see your chain come right into that, and you stop, and you don't do that Dutchman cut under it. But anyway, when those don't meet, as soon as that tree starts over, it's blocked. If you have too much hinge back there, when it starts moving, you'll split your tree in two, get a barber chair. But you can also get fiber pull, which is not as dangerous, but it's bad. You don't want fiber pull, because if you're trying to make lumber, you don't want fibers pulled out of that log. But anyway, look at your stumps critically and learn from them. But anyway, these guys got it down. Tree trimmers are different than loggers. Tree trimmers go up high with a bucket truck or ropes, and they just typically cut straight through or do a match cut, and they don't normally do a face cut and a hinge. You know, they do a lot of what they call snap cutting or match cutting, where you cut from one side, cut from the other, and just let it pop off. And it made a nice pile of wood, and I will be making firewood out of this. This will all go down in the old barn. And glad to have that on the ground. Anyway, thank you much for visiting. We'll catch you all later.